When everything feels like it's going against you, when the weight of the world seems impossible to bear, there is one thing you can do. It's simple yet profoundly powerful. Pray. But not just any prayer. A prayer that speaks to the deepest part of your soul. A prayer that aligns your mind with the vastness of the universe, with the timeless flow of existence. In those moments of darkness, when you feel like the universe has conspired to challenge you, pause for a moment. Acknowledge the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, but then in that space of vulnerability, ask for clarity. Ask for the courage to move forward, not in spite of the challenges, but because of them. Pray for the strength to embrace the struggle, because it is in that struggle that you will find your true power. It's easy to let your circumstances define you, to allow them to trap you in a mindset of defeat. But that is not who you are. You are not the sum of your struggles. You are the strength you find in the struggle. In moments like these, when you feel like you're being pulled under, remember that what is being forged in you is far greater than the obstacles you're facing. It is in these moments that resilience is born, like a seed breaking through the soil to reach the light. So pray for peace of mind. Pray for the wisdom to see beyond the immediate chaos, to understand that this moment is only temporary. What may seem like a storm now is but a passing wave in the vast ocean of your life. Hold fast to the truth that you are part of something much bigger than yourself. Trust in the flow of life, even when it seems to be pulling you in directions you don't understand. Pray for perspective. In the midst of the confusion, seek the clarity to see the lessons hidden in the challenges. Pray for the grace to accept the things you cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference. Understand that everything is happening for you, not against you. The universe, the world, and life itself are not out to get you. They are guiding you, shaping you, molding you into the person you are destined to become. And most importantly, pray for the courage to keep moving forward. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the future you are creating. There will be days when you feel weak, when you want to give up. But even on those days, remember that every challenge, every setback is an opportunity to rise, to grow, and to become more than you ever thought possible. So when everything feels like it's going against you, pray. Pray not just for the strength to endure, but for the wisdom to see the beauty in the struggle, the courage to stand tall, and the faith to know that this too shall pass. The sun always rises after the darkest night, and you too will rise again. When life feels like it's pushing you down, when every step forward seems met with resistance, it's easy to start questioning the purpose of it all. But here's the truth that's often buried beneath the weight of our struggles. The struggle is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally in the pursuit of personal growth. It's in the moments of hardship, when everything feels stacked against you, that the seeds of your strength are sown. So often we are conditioned to view challenges as something to avoid, something to fear, something that diminishes us. We view them as obstacles to our peace, our happiness, our success. But what if I told you that the very thing you resist is the thing that will shape you into who you are meant to become? Think about it. Every hero in history, every person who has overcome great odds has done so not in spite of the struggle, but because of it. The person who you are becoming is built from these moments of adversity. When you are tested, when life feels unfair or overwhelming, it is easy to think of these moments as isolating and defeating. But what if we started seeing them differently? What if we could shift our perspective and choose to view our struggles as invitations to grow? Growth does not happen in the absence of hardship. Growth happens in the tension, the discomfort, the places that demand more from us than we ever thought we could give. The struggle is not the thing that limits you, it's the thing that expands you if you choose to embrace it. We all have this inner voice that tries to convince us that we're not enough, that we can't handle what's in front of us, or that we don't deserve to push through the pain. But deep within, we all possess a well of resilience that often remains untapped until we are forced to face adversity. It's when we are stretched beyond our comfort zones that we learn just how strong we really are. The moments that feel like they're breaking us are often the ones that are actually building us, building our capacity to endure, our ability to stand in the face of difficulty, and our courage to keep going even when it feels impossible. Embrace the struggle, not as something to endure, but as something to learn from. When everything is going against you, don't shy away from it. Lean into it. Pray for the strength to welcome the challenge with open arms, knowing that within it lies the potential for something greater. The struggle is not here to destroy you. It is here to refine you, to help you become the person you were always meant to be. You said, expand key point 2 for best motivational speech on topic. Pray this when it feels like everything is going against you. Brene Brown, philosophical thoughts and engaging and influential style that attracts the audience without heading and subheading. ChatGPT said, when life feels overwhelming, when it seems like every direction you turn is met with resistance, it's easy to get lost in the chaos. The noise of the world, the pressure of expectations, the weight of your own fears can all cloud your judgment and cloud your vision. But in those moments, one of the most powerful things you can do is stop. Stop for a moment, not to give up, but to give yourself space to breathe, to reflect, and to listen to what your heart and soul are trying to tell you. It's not easy. In fact, it can feel almost unnatural to pause when everything around you is in motion. The world demands constant action, constant doing. But in moments of hardship, action is not always the answer. Sometimes it's about stepping back and giving yourself permission to be still, to reflect, to pause long enough to acknowledge what's happening inside of you, to name the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, and to allow it to exist without judgment. In that stillness, you create the space for clarity. You stop reacting out of panic, out of frustration, or out of exhaustion. Instead, you create the opportunity to respond with intention, with wisdom. You allow your deeper self, the part of you that knows your true worth, to come to the surface. It's in those quiet moments of pause that your intuition, your inner wisdom has the chance to rise above the noise and offer you the clarity you need. When everything feels like it's going wrong, it's easy to make decisions from a place of fear and urgency, but clarity does not come from desperation. It comes from a place of calm. It's when you step out of the frenzy, when you breathe deeply and allow yourself the grace to reflect, that you gain the insight to move forward with purpose. That is the power of pausing. It allows you to see beyond the immediate chaos, beyond the storm that is clouding your mind. This is not about denying the difficulty or pretending everything is fine. It's about creating space for yourself to see things as they truly are, without the distortion of fear or anxiety. When you stop and reflect, you remind yourself that you are capable of navigating this moment. You remind yourself that even in the darkness, there is always a path forward. Sometimes that path is not immediately clear, but in the quiet, it starts to reveal itself. So, in those moments when life feels like it's closing in, when everything seems to be going against you, pause, reflect. In that stillness, you will find your strength. You will find the clarity you need to move forward, not blindly, but with a deep knowing that you are never truly lost and that you have everything you need within you to find your way. In the midst of hardship, when it feels like life is throwing everything at you, it's natural to feel lost, confused, or even helpless. It's in these moments that we often find ourselves asking, why is this happening to me? But instead of getting lost in the questions, we can shift our focus and ask for something far more powerful, clarity. Clarity is not about having all the answers right away or suddenly seeing the exact path that will lead us to happiness or success. Clarity is about finding peace in the uncertainty. It's about understanding that even when you don't have all the answers, you can still trust yourself to make the right decision for this moment. It's about being willing to sit with the unknown, to ask for the wisdom, to see beyond the immediate struggle, and to trust that the answers will come when they're meant to. Sometimes the hardest part of life's challenges is the feeling of being directionless, of not knowing which step to take next. But clarity doesn't always come through grand revelations or sudden epiphanies. Sometimes it comes in the smallest moments of insight, those fleeting thoughts or quiet realizations that guide you little by little back toward your truth. When everything feels like it's going wrong, you may not immediately understand why or what you're supposed to do, but pray for clarity and allow yourself to trust that the path will unfold as you walk it. Ask for the wisdom to see beyond the temporary chaos, to understand that this moment is part of a larger journey. There is a bigger picture at play, one that you may not fully see right now, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Trust that every step you take, even when it feels like you're walking in the dark, is part of a process that's unfolding in ways you can't yet see. Praying for clarity is not about asking for a life free of struggle or uncertainty. It's about asking for the strength to navigate those moments with a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, and a deep knowing that you will not be lost. Clarity is the inner compass that guides you through the fog of confusion and doubt, reminding you that even when everything feels like it's falling apart, you are still exactly where you need to be. When you ask for clarity, you open yourself to receiving the guidance that has always been within you. You remind yourself that the answers are not out there in the chaos, but within you, waiting to be uncovered. It's in the quiet moments of prayer, in the stillness of your heart, that clarity begins to emerge. And as you embrace that clarity, you step forward with a sense of purpose, knowing that you have everything you need to move through this moment and the next, with strength, resilience, and faith in the journey. In the face of adversity, it's incredibly easy to define ourselves by our struggles. When things aren't going the way we expect, when the weight of the world seems heavy and unyielding, we start to believe that our challenges are the essence of who we are. We start to think that the failures we experience, the pain we feel, are permanent fixtures in our identity. But this is where the true power lies, not in letting those circumstances shape us, but in remembering that we are not the sum of our struggles. You are not defined by your difficulties. You are not the failure that you fear, the mistake you regret, or the disappointment you've experienced. In fact, you are far more than any of those things. Your worth is not measured by the setbacks you face, but by the strength you find within yourself to rise from them, to keep going when it feels like giving up would be easier. Your true identity is not something built from your struggles, but something forged through your resilience, the quiet, unspoken strength that keeps you moving forward, even when everything around you tells you to stop. When everything feels like it's going against you, it's easy to internalize the negativity. It's easy to think that because life is tough right now, you're somehow less than you were before. But the beauty of this moment, the transformative power of struggle, is that it can remind you of who you truly are. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the fighter, the survivor, the person who stands tall, even when everything else seems to crumble. It is in these moments of vulnerability, when you feel lost or defeated, that you are given the most precious opportunity to reconnect with your true self. The person you are deep down is not shaken by the storm. The person you are is built from an unshakable foundation. A foundation that has been strengthened by every hardship you've faced and every challenge you've overcome. You may not always see it in the moment, but every time you face a difficulty and choose to keep going, you are building the person you are meant to be. Remember that every moment of hardship is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of your ability to grow. The person who stands before you today, facing life's hardest moments, is a person that has been shaped, refined, and made stronger by the journey. And while the struggle is real, it is not the defining force in your life. You are the one who decides what defines you. You have the power to see the lesson in the difficulty, to see the strength in the pain, and to realize that you are not and never will be defined by the hardships you face. So when everything feels like it's going against you, remember this. You are not your struggle. You are not the challenges you face. You are the person who rises each time, the person who finds the strength to keep moving forward, the person who learns, grows, and becomes more through it all. Your true identity is rooted in your resilience, and that is something no difficulty, no matter how great, can ever take from you. In the midst of hardship, when the world feels like it's conspiring against you, it's easy to feel small, insignificant, and powerless. The challenges that seem insurmountable in the moment can make us question our abilities, our worth, and our capacity to endure. But here's a powerful truth that often gets lost in the noise. Resilience isn't something that is handed to us. It's something that is built, piece by piece, through every struggle we face. Resilience is not about being unaffected by life's difficulties. It's not about pretending the pain isn't real or ignoring the fear that creeps in. Resilience is about learning to rise again after every fall, about finding the strength to keep going even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. It's about choosing to take one more step, no matter how small, because you believe that something greater is on the other side of this struggle. It's about trusting that the adversity you're facing is not here to break you, it's here to build you. Think about it for a moment. Every challenge you faced in your life, no matter how difficult, has shaped you into the person you are today. Those moments where you thought you couldn't go on, those are the moments that taught you the depth of your own strength. The times when you felt like everything was falling apart, those were the times that built your resilience, brick by brick. Every setback, every heartbreak, every disappointment was not the end. It was a lesson in endurance, in perseverance, in the unwavering truth that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Resilience isn't built in the easy moments. It's not built in the times when everything is smooth and comfortable. It's built in the moments when you're tested, when you're pushed to your absolute limits. And when you pray for resilience, you're asking for the strength to embrace those moments fully, to face the challenges head on, and allow them to forge something stronger within you. You're asking for the courage to keep moving forward even when the path seems uncertain, and to trust that every step, no matter how small, is a step closer to the version of yourself you were meant to be. Every time you rise, even after a fall, you build resilience. Every time you face the storm and choose to stand firm, you strengthen your foundation. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means you will feel it, and yet you will choose to keep going. You will keep learning, growing, and evolving through every challenge. When you pray for resilience, you are not asking for a life free from hardship. You are asking for the strength to navigate those hardships with grace and determination. You are asking for the courage to lean into the struggle, to embrace the discomfort, and to trust that through it all, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. So remember this, resilience is not an inherent trait you are born with. It is a muscle that you build over time, through every trial, every setback, and every moment of doubt. And with each moment of struggle, you are becoming more resilient than you were before, more capable of weathering the storms, and more powerful in your own ability to rise again. In the midst of the storms of life, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. when everything feels like it's falling apart, when the weight of your circumstances feels unbearable. It's difficult to see beyond the chaos. But one of the most important truths we can hold on to in those moments is that everything is temporary. No storm, no matter how fierce, lasts forever, and neither will this moment of hardship. We often get caught in the immediacy of our struggles, believing that because it feels so intense right now, it will never end. We get lost in the overwhelm, thinking that our present suffering is a permanent part of who we are. But if we take a step back, we can see that life is a series of ebbs and flows. What feels like the darkest moment today will eventually give way to light, to new possibilities, to growth. The pain you're feeling right now is not the end of your story. It is simply a chapter, a page in a much larger book. When you pray for peace, when you ask for the strength to endure, you are reminding yourself that this too shall pass. You are affirming that this moment, as painful as it may be, is just one point along a much larger journey. Just as the darkest night gives way to the light of a new day, so too will this period of struggle eventually give way to a new chapter of peace, hope, and possibility. It is not about denying the reality of the moment, but about finding comfort in knowing that change is inevitable. There will be days when you feel stuck, when you wonder if the storm will ever end, but know this: every storm runs out of rain. The clouds will part and the sun will shine again. The very nature of life is change. It is constant, relentless, and often unpredictable. But in that unpredictability, there is a profound sense of hope. It is the assurance that whatever you are going through right now will not last forever. It will shift, it will change, and you will move through it. This doesn't mean you have to rush through the pain or ignore it. It means you give yourself permission to feel it, to honor it, but also to trust in the wisdom that everything, even pain, is part of a larger process. You are not meant to remain in the storm forever. The rain will stop, the skies will clear, and you will stand stronger for having weathered it. Praying for peace in these moments is about letting go of the belief that this hardship defines you, that this moment is your final destination. It's about trusting that you are on a journey and this period of difficulty is simply a passing phase. Life is a dynamic flow, and in the ebb of the hard times, the flow of better days is already on its way. All you have to do is keep moving, keep trusting, and keep believing that no storm is permanent. With time, this moment will pass, and you will emerge from it stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you were before. When everything is falling apart, it's easy to feel as though life is against you, like the universe has conspired to throw every possible challenge your way. In those moments, it's tempting to believe that you are being singled out for hardship, that the forces at play are working against your happiness, your growth, and your success. But what if, instead of seeing life as something that's fighting you, you chose to see it as something that's actually working for you, guiding you towards something greater than you could have imagined? Trusting in life's flow doesn't mean denying the pain, the fear, or the difficulty you're experiencing. It's not about pretending that everything is okay when it isn't. Trusting in life's flow is about surrendering to the truth that even in the darkest of times, there is a bigger picture at play. A picture you may not be able to see right now, but one that is unfolding with purpose and intention. There is a deeper rhythm to life than what we see on the surface. When we get caught up in the small, immediate struggles, it's easy to forget that everything has its place in the grand design. Every challenge, every setback, every painful experience is shaping you, preparing you for something more. Life is not against you. Life is leading you, teaching you, and pushing you to grow in ways you may not fully understand yet. The difficulties you face are not obstacles to your happiness. They are the very tools that will shape you into the person capable of achieving that happiness. When you trust in life's flow, you stop resisting the things that scare you. You stop fighting against the fear, the discomfort, the uncertainty, because you understand that these moments of hardship are part of a much larger process. You trust that, though the path may not always be clear, each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. You trust that the setbacks you face are not roadblocks but stepping stones on the way to your greater purpose. This trust is not about blind optimism or ignoring the reality of your struggles. It is about cultivating the faith that life is not working against you even when it feels that way. It's about realizing that you are not powerless in the face of difficulty. You are part of a larger flow, a current that is moving you in a direction that is ultimately in your best interest, even if you can't see it yet. When you pray for trust, you are asking for the grace to surrender to the unknown, to let go of the need to control every aspect of your journey. You are inviting the wisdom to understand that life's challenges, no matter how overwhelming, are not punishments. They are lessons. They are invitations to grow, to evolve, and to become stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your true self. Life is not out to get you. It is guiding you, helping you become the person you are meant to be, one experience at a time. So when everything feels like it's going against you, remember this. Life is not against you. It is working for you in ways that you may not fully understand right now. Trust that the flow of life, though sometimes difficult, is moving you towards something greater. Your job is not to fight against it, but to embrace it, to let go of the need to control, and to trust that even in the toughest times, you are exactly where you need to be. When everything seems to be falling apart, when it feels like you've been knocked down so many times that you can't possibly get back up, it's easy to believe that you are alone in your struggles. You might start to think that no one else understands what you're going through, or that no one else could possibly feel the weight you're carrying. But the truth is that we all go through difficult times. We all face moments where it feels like the world is against us. And it's in those moments that we need connection the most. Connection is what keeps us grounded when we're lost. It's what reminds us that we are not alone, even when it feels like we are. We are not meant to walk through this life in isolation. We are meant to lean on one another, to lift each other up when we are down, and to find strength in the shared experience of being human. The beauty of connection is that it allows us to see beyond our own struggles and reminds us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. In moments of hardship, it's easy to withdraw, to isolate yourself, to believe that if you just handle it on your own, you'll be stronger. But the truth is, vulnerability is strength. It takes incredible courage to open up, to share your pain, to allow others to see your scars. It's in those moments of vulnerability that the power of connection truly shines. When you allow yourself to be seen, to be known, and to lean on others, you create the space for healing. You invite compassion, empathy, and support into your life in ways that you cannot do on your own. When you pray for connection, you are asking for the strength to reach out even when it feels difficult. You are asking for the courage to allow others to be there for you, to share your burden, and to be lifted up by the love and understanding of those who care for you. You are opening yourself up to the healing power of shared experience, knowing that when we connect with others, we realize that we are not alone. We are all walking this journey together, each of us carrying our own burdens, but also offering support and understanding when others need it most. Connection reminds us that our struggles do not define us. Our relationships, our ability to reach out and be vulnerable with others, our capacity to give and receive love, these are the things that truly shape us. When you connect with others, you are reminded that you are not defined by your hardships, but by your capacity to overcome them with the help of those around you. So when it feels like everything is going against you, remember that you don't have to carry the weight alone. Lean into the connections you have, whether it's with friends, family, or even strangers who can offer a listening ear. Let yourself be vulnerable. Let yourself be supported, and let yourself find strength in the power of shared humanity. In these moments, connection is not just a lifeline, it is a reminder that we are all in this together, that we are not alone, and that we have everything we need to move through the hard times with grace, resilience, and love. When you're standing on the edge, when the ground beneath you feels unstable and you wonder if you have the strength to keep moving forward, it's easy to fall into despair, to believe that the challenges you face will never end. You might look around and feel that there's no way out, no way through the darkness, and no hope for the future. But the power of prayer, the act of asking for strength, is not just about summoning the courage to face today. It's about rediscovering the resilience within you to shape tomorrow. Strength is not about being unshakable in the face of adversity. It's not about pretending that the fear doesn't exist or that the weight doesn't press down on you. Strength is about showing up even when you feel like you're breaking. It's about choosing to keep going even when every part of you says to stop. It's about finding the courage to rise every time you fall, to continue moving forward, no matter how heavy the burden. When everything feels like it's going against you, it's easy to feel powerless. But in those moments, you have the opportunity to discover a well of strength that you didn't know existed. Strength isn't something that's given to you by the world. It's something that is cultivated from within. It's the courage to keep going, even when the road is unclear, even when the path seems impossible to find. It's the ability to hold on to hope, to keep fighting for what's right, even when it seems like you're losing the battle. Praying for strength is not about asking for an end to the struggle. It's about asking for the resilience to move through it. It's about inviting the wisdom to understand that you have everything you need within you to face this moment, to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Strength comes from knowing that you have survived every difficult moment up until now. You have endured, you have learned, and you have grown stronger with each experience, no matter how painful it was in the moment. Each time you face difficulty, you are building that muscle of strength. You may not feel it in the moment, but as you keep walking through the storm, you become more capable of handling whatever comes next. Strength is built through persistence, through courage, through the willingness to face the unknown with the belief that you are capable of navigating it. It's the quiet, unwavering determination to keep moving forward, even when you don't know what the next step will be. So when you pray for strength, you're not praying for an easy life. You're praying for the strength to face whatever comes your way with grace and dignity. You're praying for the fortitude to stand tall when the world seems to push you down, and for the courage to keep fighting, to keep believing in yourself and in the possibility of brighter days. The strength you seek is already inside of you. It's always been there, waiting for you to tap into it, to let it rise up in the face of adversity. You are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you realize. And when everything feels like it's going against you, remember that you have the strength to face it, to move through it, and to come out on the other side even stronger than before. Trust in your own resilience. Trust that the strength you need is already within you, and all you have to do is call on it and keep moving forward, step by step, no matter how tough the journey may seem. As you stand in the middle of your storm, when everything feels like it's falling apart, remember that this moment, though challenging, is not the end of your story. Life, with all its highs and lows, is not a destination, but a journey. And in the midst of the pain, the uncertainty, and the fear, there is an invitation to rise, an invitation to lean into the very struggles that seem to be breaking you, knowing that they are, in fact, the forces that will ultimately shape you into the person you are becoming. It's in these moments when you feel the weight of the world pushing against you that you must remember the immense power that lies within you. You are not powerless. You are not defined by your difficulties, your failures, or your setbacks. You are defined by your resilience, by your ability to rise after every fall, and by the courage to keep going when it feels impossible. The strength, peace, and resilience you seek are not external forces waiting to appear. They are within you, waiting to be unlocked through your willingness to trust in yourself, to trust in the process of growth, and to trust in life itself. When everything feels like it's going against you, pray for strength, pray for peace, pray for trust. But more importantly, remember that you are the one who has the power to carry that prayer forward. You are the one who chooses how to respond, how to rise, how to embrace the challenges that life brings. And in choosing to move through those challenges with grace, vulnerability, and resilience, you become a beacon of strength for others who are walking their own journeys of hardship. The truth is, there is no struggle that is wasted. Every difficult moment, every painful step is preparing you for the next chapter of your life. The trials you face today will one day serve as the foundation for the strength you will draw from tomorrow. And when you look back on this moment, you will see it not as a defeat, but as a testament to your unwavering resilience, your courage, and your ability to keep going no matter what. So as you face the storm, remember that it's not the end of your story, it's part of the story. And with each step forward, you are writing a new chapter, one where you emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the person you are destined to become. Keep trusting, keep moving, and know that even when it feels like everything is against you, you are not alone. You have the power to rise. You have the power to overcome. And you have the power to create the life you deserve, one brave step at a time.